Mary Ellen, you've been at the helm of Women's World Banking now for 15 years. So you've seen a couple of economic cycles at this point, thinking back to the financial crisis of 2008, 2009, and everything that nonprofit organizations and NGOs had to weather. This global economic crisis is quite unexpected, but what advice might you have to NGOs who are about to and are currently weathering similar economic downturns?
Biggest piece of advice right now would be talk to your funders. I'd say the single biggest difference between 2009 and today is in 2009, I had funders calling me up and canceling grant contracts, reducing them dramatically, disappearing off the face of the earth, bringing, we had one company that was very well known financial institution sort of before they went under the tarp of the financial bailout, gave us $150,000 kind of over in the corner over there. So it was a very, very uncertain period versus today where I have had the vast majority of my large funders come to us and say, how can we help? But it's prompted me to then go to others and say, is there any way we can think about making this funding more flexible? Or we know that this set of countries is very important to you, and we're seeing this issue. And they've actually been really grateful that we've found a way for them to give in a philanthropic area that is of such great importance. I've really been struck I'd say the last 10 days or so, that there is now money looking for a way to help in this environment. And if you can find that sweet spot, and you'll only know about that if you reach out to your funders and talk to them about it. And I'd say the one other thing that we just got immediately down to work on after the 2009 crisis is just diversify your funding base. Don't have yourself be reliant on any one funder or even one set of funders. And that's, again, been really important in this moment.
What do you think has changed over the past 10 years in terms of the relationship between funders and NGOs or nonprofits? Recognizing that they're not immediately pulling out of their commitments, but versus reaching out and asking how they can support and continuing to provide funding opportunities. Do you think that the stakeholder capitalism philosophy might have an effect on a funder's understanding of just how critical that relationship is to an NGO or nonprofit?
I certainly think it's a better educated, as you say, group of particularly, foundation and corporate donors, recognizing, in fact, there was a pledge that was signed by a very large number of philanthropic organizations last week that went around, literally making that point that to pull out now or to insist on too many strings and targets and restrictions is just going to be death to the organization that you're trying to serve. And I think a much greater appreciation of the need for general operating support and flexibility. And that's a sophisticated donor argument that I think a lot of people that we were dealing with, 10 years ago, wouldn't necessarily have understood that nuance.